The word of Yahweh that came to Zephaniah, son of Cushai, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly destroy everything from upon the face of the land. The word of Yahweh. I will destroy man and animal. I will destroy the bird of the sky and the fish of the sea and the stumbling blocks of the wicked. And I will cut off mankind from the face of the land. The word of Yahweh. I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will cut off from this place any remnant of Baal, idol worship, and the memory of the ministers with the priests, and those who prostrate themselves to the roofs, to the heavenly host, and those who bow down, swear to Yahweh, and then also swear by their king, and that is the Illuminati, and those who have turned back from following Yahweh, and those who have not sought Yahweh, nor inquired after him. Be silent before Yahweh, for the day of Yahweh is near. For Yahweh has prepared a slaughter. He has invited his guests, and it will happen on the day of Yahweh's slaughter that I will deal with the officials and the king's sons and all who wear the foreign garments. And I will deal with all those who leap over the threshold on that day, and with those who fill their houses, their masters, with injustice and deceit. On that day, says Yahweh, there will be a sound of an outcry from the fish gate, and a wail from the second gate, and of a great catastrophe from the hills. Wail, O inhabitants of Makdesh, for the entire people of Canaan has been destroyed. All those laden and with their silver have been cut off. It will be at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and I will deal with the men who settle on their lees, who say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, and Yahweh will not do evil. Their wealth will give away to plunder, and their houses for desolation. They will build houses, but will not dwell in them. They will plant vineyards, but not drink their wine. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near and hastens greatly. The sound of the day of Yahweh, when the mighty warriors cries out bitterly. A day of fury is that day, a day of trouble and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a day of darkness and blackness, a day of cloud and thick cloud, a day of trumpet and battle cries against the fortified cities and against the high towers. I will lay siege against the people, and they will go about like the blind, for they have sinned against Yahweh. Their blood will be spilled out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Even their silver and their gold will not be able to rescue them on the day of Yahweh's fury. In the fire of his zeal, the entire land will be consumed, for he will make an end, an abrupt end, of all the inhabitants of the land. Chapter 2. Improve yourselves and improve each other, O nation without desire, before the decree is born. The day you will become like chaff, before Yahweh's burning wrath comes upon you, before the day of Yahweh's anger comes upon you, Seek Yahweh, all you humble of the land who have fulfilled his law. Seek righteousness, seek humility. Perhaps you will be concealed on the day of Yahweh's anger, for Gaza will be deserted. Ashdod will become a wasteland, and they will drive out Ashdod's residents at noon, and Ekron will be uprooted. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites, the word of Yahweh against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I will destroy you without any inhabitants. The seacoast will be an abode for shepherds and sheepfold. It will be a portion for the remnant of the house of Judah upon which they will gaze. In the houses of Ashkelon they will lie down in the evening, for Yahweh their God will remember them and will return their captivity. I have heard the taunt of Moab and the jeers of the children of Ammon. Moab and Ammon were the sons from Lot, and that represents the area today of Jordan. They taunted my people and expanded their territory along their borders. Therefore, as I live, Yahweh says, Master of Legions, God of Israel, I swear that Moab will be like Sodom, and children of Ammon will be like Gomorrah, a rustling thorn bush, a salt mine, a desolate wasteland forever. The remnant of my people will loot them, and the remainder of my nation will inherit them. This they shall have in place of their haughtiness. For they taunted and boasted over the people of Yahweh, Master of Legions, and Yahweh will be fearsome unto them, for he will enfeeble the powers of the earth, and they will prostrate themselves to Yahweh, and each man from his place, all the islands and all of the nations. You too, Cushites, you are slain by my sword. He will stretch out his hand towards the north, and he will destroy Assyria, and he will make Nineveh a wasteland, and as a desert. Herds will lie down in the midst. Every nation's beast, both owls and bitterns, will lodge in the capitals, and their voice will sing out in the windows. Desolation will be in the doorway, for the cedar work will be removed. This is the exalted city that dwelt in security, that said in its heart, only I, and beside me, nothing. How did it become so desolate, a resting place for the beasts? Everyone who passes by it will whistle and wave his hand. Chapter 3. Woe to the filthy and the polluted one, the city of oppression, Jerusalem. It did not listen to the voice of the prophets. It did not accept any chastisement. It did not trust Yahweh. It did not draw near to Yahweh, their God. Its princes in its midst, and they acted like roaring lions. Its judges are wolves of the evening. They do not leave a bone for the morning. The prophets are impetuous, men of rebellion. Its priests have desecrated the sacred name. They have robbed the Torah. Yahweh, the righteous one, is within it. He commits no corruption. Morning after morning, he brings his judgments to light. It does not fail, but the corrupt ones knows no shame. Yahweh said, I have eliminated nations. Their towers have become a desolation. I have destroyed their streets without any passer-bys. Their cities have become ruins without people, so there is no inhabitant. I said, just fear me, accept my chastisement, so that the abode in Jerusalem would not be terminated. Despite all that I have ordained upon her, but instead they arose early and corrupted all their deeds. However, therefore, wait for me, the word of Yahweh, for the day when I will arise to plunder all of them. For my judgment will be to assemble nations. And this is repeated in Ezekiel 38 with the Gog and Magog war. I will call the nations, gather kingdoms to pour my fury upon them, all my burning wrath, for with the fire of my jealousy the entire earth will be consumed. For they will charge the nations to speak a pure language, so that they will not participate. The name of Yahweh, to worship him with united resolve. From the other side of the rivers of Cush, my supplicants, groups of my scattered ones, will bring my tribute. And on that day you will not be ashamed of all your deeds by which you have wantonly sinned against me. For then I will remove from your midst those who exalted in your arrogance, and you will no longer continue to be haughty on my holy mountain. And I will leave in your midst a humble and a destitute people, and they will take shelter in the name of Yahweh. And we're talking about a new group selected to be redeemed as Israel. The remnant of Israel will not commit corruption, and they will not speak falsehood, and deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouth. For they will graze, lie down, with no one to make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion, sound the trumpet, O Israel, be glad, and exult with all your heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. Yahweh has removed your judgments, he has cleared away your enemies. The King of Israel, Yahweh, is in your midst, and you will never again fear evil. On that day it will be said to Jerusalem, have no fear, O Zion. Do not despair. Yahweh your God is in your midst, the mighty one, who will serve and save you. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will be silent. With his love, he will be joyful over you with a glad song. I have gathered together those who have mourned for the appointed times. They came from you, who had carried a burden of shame of it. Behold, at that time I will crush all those who afflict you. I will save the crippled. I will gather the cast-offs, and I will make them for a praise and a good name throughout the land of their shame. At that time I will bring you in, and at that time I will gather you, for I will make you into a good name and a praise amongst the peoples of the earth, when I return your captives before your eyes, says Yahweh. And notice that if you read the rest of this, the captives are a captive under the lies and deceptions of satanic forces. Now, just to wind up this report, I'm putting on the screen for you in the yellow circle a little white dot. That is Earth. And that's a photo taken from NASA of when one of their journeys started 7 years ago to go to Saturn. So all of that universe, all of everything that is made, as Yahweh said, I made everything. I put out the heavens. I formed the earth. But it also says there in that text for you to read that Yahweh makes it clear, I made it all by myself. So that discounts and debunks any theories, any Christian religions that tell you that Jesus was there at creation. And you can stop the film and you can get more details there. Now in this report, Yahweh said that he will kill the fish, kill the birds, and you are looking at a report from the UK newspapers where thousands of tons of fish are dead all over the ocean. In this report, Yahweh, the living creator God, said that he will kill all the birds. Now, coming up on your screen, you will see a picture that was published by the papers in UK. Millions of birds were dropping out of the sky dead. So you ask the question, you make a decision, you have a look at what's happening in the world around you and tell me, has the day of Yahweh's wrath already begun? Now in the previous reports, we gave you how many fake inserts have been put into the Bible to prop up the Jesus doctrine. There you're looking at Isaiah 7 and Isaiah 9. And you can stop the film and you can have a look at the original text that is in the original Bibles. And you can make your own decision as to why these fake, false inserts of text were put in. Particularly also to prop up the child sacrifice, the Christ sacrifice, the blood sin sacrifice, when Yahweh made it very, very clear that he asked for absolutely no blood sin sacrifice. And there on your screen now, you have all of the texts that you can look up yourself where Yahweh says, I never asked for any blood sin sacrifice. And yet, when you go to Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers in the Old Testament, you will see there's numerous texts that refer that Yahweh told Moses how to kill the blood sin sacrifices. That is false.